All right, let's talk about something that I think hits home for a lot of us. In a world that just feels so fast and honestly a little disconnected sometimes, how do we find our way back to what actually matters? Well, today we've got a story about just that, about how a journey into a festival of lights can end up showing us the way back to each other.
So this is really the heart of the story, right? You've got these two totally different worlds. On one side, there's a life that might feel pretty familiar. The long hours, grabbing a quick meal by yourself, holidays that boil down to just a quick text. And on the other side, a world that's built on sharing, on laughing with family, passing plates around a table, and listening to stories from your elders. This is a story about what it takes to get from one side to the other. Okay, so let's dive in and meet the guy at the center of all this, Alex. Now, if you looked at his life from the outside, you'd think he had it all. But on the inside, there was this huge feeling of emptiness.
Just picture it. You're in the middle of New York City, right? The energy is electric, your career's demanding, and life is just moving a mile a minute. But for Alex, all that speed came with a price. His days just kind of blurred into these long nights of eating alone, and his only connection to his family, who were miles and miles away, was through the cold light of his phone. I mean, he was surrounded by millions of people, but felt totally and completely alone.
So, Alex hits a breaking point. He decides he's got to do something different. And boy, does he. He trades the concrete jungle of New York for a small village in India, and he walks straight into one of the most beautiful and lively celebrations you could ever imagine.
So he lands right in the middle of Diwali. Now, you might have heard of it. It's the Hindu festival of lights. But what's so cool is that it's so much more than just a pretty sight. At its very core, Diwali is this powerful idea, this metaphor. It's all about celebrating light winning against darkness, good winning over evil, and knowledge pushing out ignorance. Really, it's a festival of pure hope.
And Alex is just thrown right into it. And I mean, it is a total sensory overload in the best way possible. You've got these little clay lamps, they're called diyas, and they're flickering in every single window. There are these stunning, intricate patterns made from colored powders called rangoli at every single doorway. The air is just filled with the incredible smell of sweets, and the whole night is alive with the sound of fireworks and, maybe most importantly, the sound of kids just laughing their heads off.
But here's the thing. Even surrounded by all this incredible life and light, that feeling of being an outsider, it doesn't just vanish. Actually, it almost gets worse. He's just one person, watching all these families celebrating together. He's like a single shadow in this whole world of light. And this really gets to what he's feeling, you know? He's flown halfway around the world to stop being lonely, and now he's face to face with this huge question. In a community that is this close, where on earth does a stranger even begin to fit in?
And then this happens. This simple, incredibly powerful invitation from a woman named Lakshmi Aunty. With just a few words, she completely shatters that wall of isolation he's built around himself. She calls him Beta, which means son. It's not just an invitation to a stranger. She's inviting him into the family. And that moment, that's when everything changes.
So Alex goes into her home, and it's not just about getting a good meal. You know, he starts to get this education, this deeper understanding of what all these rituals are actually about. He learns that the lights, the food, all the get-togethers, they're all just the outward signs of something so much deeper.
And you won't believe where one of the biggest lessons comes from. It's from the youngest kid in the family. It's so simple, but wow, is it powerful. He learns that lighting a lamp isn't just for decoration. It's a choice. It's an act of choosing to bring hope into the world, of fighting back against that darkness we all feel sometimes, both the darkness out there and the darkness inside.
And Lakshmi Aunty, she just brings it all home. She connects the dots for him, tying the themes of the festival directly to his life. She explains that just like light always beats the dark, love can beat the distance that had been defining his entire world. And in that moment, he's not the lonely guy from New York anymore. He's part of their circle of light. Before he leaves, they give him a gift. And it's not some cheap souvenir you'd buy at the airport. It's a piece of their culture, a handmade fabric with these beautiful patterns that tell the stories of their community and their family. It's a real, tangible piece of that connection he found, something he can actually hold on to remember what it felt like to belong.
Okay, but here's the most important part. The story doesn't end when Alex gets on the plane. This wasn't just some cool vacation. He takes that light, that feeling, all the way back with him, and it completely changes how he lives his life back in New York. And you can see the change in these small, consistent things he starts to do. Those holiday texts, they become weekly phone calls. He brings a little piece of that village's beauty to his New York balcony by making those Rangoli patterns, just for the fun of it. And every single year on Diwali, he lights one lamp. Just one, to remember that welcome and to push back against the darkness. He learned that connection isn't a place you find, it's a thing you do.
And that really brings us to the big question, for him and for all of us, right? Alex found his light in the kindness of a stranger during a festival thousands of miles away. His story is this beautiful reminder that home isn't always a building, but a feeling of being connected. So the question for us is, in our own lives, where can we find a light? Or, maybe more importantly, where can we be a light to help show someone the way home?